Well, the Prime Minister needs to do what Suella Braverman indicated he might last week and actually confirmed he had the right to do, which is to take unilateral action uh, and suspend part or all of the protocol or ditch it. You know, he's got to start acting as if he has taken back control from Brussels and exercise that control in the interests of British people.
For instance, we're dealing with a situation where there is no power-sharing executive in Northern Ireland following the elections because the DUP refused to take seats until the protocol is scrapped. But Sinn Féin are warning that this is going to lead to uncertainty and tension. The EU, meanwhile, are saying, well, do that and there'll be a trade war. It's breaking an international agreement.
Well, it isn't breaking an international agreement. There are international provisions which prevent countries from entering into treaties where they know by doing so they actually offend the other country's domestic constitutional laws. And we now have two judgments from British courts that confirm that the Act of Union has been either broken or subjugated. The courts couldn't agree between themselves what the exact wording should be. But either way, the Act of Union that actually created the United Kingdom has been broken by the protocol. If that isn't reason enough for the Prime Minister to take action, and justifiably so, legitimately so, and remember, Suella Braverman has said grounds exist to take action, I don't know what is. At what point does the Conservative and Unionist Prime Minister actually do his job?
So Suella Braverman, of course, is the Attorney General who gives the government legal advice. And you're saying essentially that Article 16, which is the trigger that would allow one side to unilaterally exit the protocol if there was a threat to...
Suspend, yeah.
To suspend, if there was a threat to economic well-being, security and so forth. Now, Boris Johnson simply said the protocol is out of date, that due to COVID and cost of living, that he wants to amend it. Why do you think the EU are digging their heels in and are not listening to him?
Well, the EU, as you started off by saying, want to punish the United Kingdom. When we were both MEPs together, you'll remember the line in Brussels was the price of Brexit will be Northern Ireland. And they're not interested in something that works. They want something that maximally damages the United Kingdom. And what could damage the United Kingdom more than actually breaking the union of Northern Ireland and Great Britain so that the UK no longer exists, so that the Saltire of St. Patrick exits the Union Jack, so the flag under which we all grew up and generations before us did no longer exists. That's what the EU wants. It wants to send a very powerful message out there to all potentially errant member states not to follow the United Kingdom's example. They are a bully. The EU is a bully, and we need to stand up to them.
I mean, if it is so injurious, if we would be morally righteous in bidding it for all the reasons that you've just laid out, why is it the government are dragging their heels? Are they really scared of a possibility of seriously frustrating trade between the EU and the UK for the rest of the UK, not just Northern Ireland?
Well, we've got to go back to basics. At a very basic level, the trade relationship between the European Union and the United Kingdom is one that hugely favours the EU, not Great Britain, not the United Kingdom. We run a deficit of about 100 billion euros a year. So if they really want a trade war, it'll be on their heads. It'll be the German people who suffer. As long as we prepare properly for a trade war, and that would mean genuinely binning all those regulations that we've adopted over 40 years from Brussels, cutting taxes, being the kind of Conservative government that Boris Johnson promised he would be, if he does that, we would win a trade war, hands down. But the question is this, Alex. There's no way the EU is going to mount a trade war with the economic problems that it's already facing, with the cost of living crisis as a result of fuel prices going up. Everyone, by the way, I want to debunk one thing. Everyone blames the cost of living crisis on the Ukrainian war. That's not what caused this. What caused this was lockdowns, supply reserves dropping dramatically, fossil fuel reserves dropping dramatically during lockdown, and then a rapid opening up of the economies. We had a cost of living crisis before the Ukraine war. Leave that aside for a moment. There is no way the EU is going to risk a trade war at the moment. And this is the time we should be either invoking Article 16 or ideally getting rid of the protocol altogether.